Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your man J.O., a.k.a. the 5'10 backup power forward, a.k.a. PJ Tucker with a beard, a.k.a. the dark-skinned Chris Gallon, and a.k.a. the Robert Pack of my era. Back with another special episode today. This ain't no ordinary episode, man. This is a legendary episode. I got the OG, my OG, a.k.a. the elite podcaster, a.k.a. the trusted source. He is the host of the Gray Area. My man from New York, Ray Jarvis.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I definitely appreciate all the AKAs. And most of all, man, J. Oden, I appreciate the fact that you said the Gray Area and didn't put podcast on the end. I like to just leave it as the Gray Area. So you get the show off the rep.
Oh, yeah, you got it, man. I hate when people do that, man. Like, certain people be like, the Call It What You Want podcast. Like, no, it's just Call It What You Want, fam.
That's it.
What's going on with you, my guy?
I'm good, man. You know, I've been kind of like Birdman, rubbing my hands together, waiting for this opportunity to get on here, man. I've heard some illustrious voices come on, some of my colleagues in sparring parties of Above the Rim. BTG for president, the man who I love to talk Westbrook with. And I'm like, what is Jarv getting on here, bro? Like, I'm ready to get in, so I'm happy right now.
Oh, man, you my OG. I had to get my feet wet and grow up a little bit before I can get you on here, man. So I feel like right now is the perfect time. We got NBA Finals is over. The NBA draft is coming.
Right.
The free agency talk is crazy. Everybody got speculations, and I know you hate the S word.
You already know.
You hate the S word.
All episode sources say rumors are. I'm over it.
Now, one thing with BTG was on, he came on right after Just, and he hit me. He was like, "Man, I gotta get on the show because it's too much salt." He was like, "I gotta change the seasoning of the food right now because all the salt y'all throwing out here." He came through, so now we got you. You about to bring a whole different dynamic. I already know.
I'm gonna try to bring some levity to the levels of salt that's been thrown back and forth. You know what I mean? That's why it's the gray area. You know.
Definitely. So what we gonna do? We gonna kick it off the way we kick off every episode, my brother. We gonna do them icebreaker questions, just so you can get comfortable, answer a few questions. Get a little vibe going. All right. So you in New York.
Every day.
What's your favorite restaurant in New York?
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a foodie. You know, I've gone to a lot of restaurants. You know, there's Benjamin Steakhouse. It's on the east side. I think it's on 41st Street between Park and Fifth Avenue, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's between Park and Lex. Excuse me. I've gone to Brushstroke in Lower Manhattan. It's a fancy Japanese sushi spot, but I had some duck there. It's immaculate. McCormick and Schmick is is a seafood restaurant over by Rockefeller Center. Delicious. But truly, for all of that fancy schmancy, I'm a simpleton at heart, man. There's a spot called BBQ's. It's all over New York City. You know what I'm saying? I love their fried shrimp. I love their Texas-sized beverages because I'm hood at heart. As much as I like a fancy meal, I'm a hood dude. So give me fried shrimp. Everybody gonna try to impress you, but I like me some BBQs because I know what I'm getting each and every time.
Yes, sir. Keep it simple.
You know
That's what it is. I enjoy the shrimp too. I definitely enjoy the shrimp and them Texas-sized beverages, huh?
No, you know what you're getting every time. What's better in life beyond knowing what you're gonna get each and every time? It doesn't get any better.
That's true. That is definitely true. So at BBQs,
right?
What's that drink of preference? Alcoholic or non-alcoholic beverage?
If I'm in BBQs, they have the Long Island. I appreciate the Long Island. It gets to be. If I'm hitting a bar, I used to be the white champion. I love vodka. I used to be vodka and cran, and at some point, my stomach and vodka stopped getting along.
Yes, sir.
So now it's all about the Henny and Coke or the Jack and Coke, depending on what mood I'm in.
Oh, no. That's three. That's a trifecta. That's three Jack guys in a row.
You already know.
Nah, I can't do it.
When you want to slow and be calm but still get that nice feeling, you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm like everybody know I don't drink no more. I got tired of the hangovers, man, and get tired of feeling crazy, and then and want to your words, the empty calories.
Empty calories.
So I kind of, I like to get the workouts in. So I had to step away from the alcohol. But
Right.
I mean, it's summertime now, so I mean, people had those barbecues. I might have to have me a little wine every now and then. Now that I'm getting a little older. Now
You got appreciation for wine. I hear that.
Exactly. I'm getting a little long in the tooth, man. I looked at my beard and I got a couple little strands of gray in there. I'm like, what's going on?
You know what? I got one right now and I'm not appreciating it, but you know what? I hear it gives you a little seasoning, a little zhuzh, and the ladies like it, so I stopped complaining.
That's my man. That's 100%. Now, since you're talking about, what the ladies like, if you had $100 million right now, what's the first thing you buying for yourself?
I struggle with it. I think I'm gonna buy property. A lot of people live in apartments. They don't get the opportunity because the way the system is set up and tells you about credit. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Get stuck in these housing situations where you never get to really get the home that you want to buy because your credit isn't great or it costs too much. You got to have X amount of dollars on the down payment. So I'm a firm believer of property because when you own property, it puts you in a whole new bracket tax wise.
Yep.
And if you want to elevate in America, it's all about what tax bracket, what your credit score is about, what you could do with those combinations. So I'm all about property. Owning property puts you in a new plateau, and I believe that $100 million, if I could get to one of those fancy neighborhoods that cost X amount of dollars and puts me on a certain type of plateau, I'm all about the property.
See, man, hey, everybody who listening, y'all welcome. Because not only are y'all about to hear great basketball from this man, but y'all also getting that economic lesson.
Absolutely.
So y'all welcome. I'm kind of, I'm outlandish with it. So like I said, I'm getting that Eddie Murphy suit, my ostrich. I might do some other dumb stuff. It's $100 million. I mean, for me, I ain't never seen money like that anyway. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna splurge. I mean, I'm gonna put some money up because I'm gonna act a fool for a week.
Right.
Doing a lot of dumb stuff. So I'm gonna have to, throw a couple dollars under that old pissy mattress. But all right. So I respect that.
Wrong, bro. After I cop the crib, I'm gonna put on the shiny suit and dance like Puff. I'm gonna shimmy like Puff once the crib is purchased. Don't get me wrong. I'm gonna do some ignorantness, for lack of a better word, once the house is purchased.
Okay, as long as all right. Well, after you buy the house, let me know. I'm on the plane. I'm coming out to New York, and I'm gonna wear my suit. You got your suit. I think BTG said he getting a Michael Jackson jacket. So we out. We partying. We out here, and we gonna find out. We gonna find out where because Just said he gonna buy a house that don't nobody know where it's at. We gonna find him.
Just gonna put on some fancy outfit that's already in his wardrobe with the nice dress shoes and everything. He just gonna pull up extra cool.
I stay giving him heat about that. I sent them a shirt for the show, and he was like, I was like, what size? He was like, a small. I'm like, nah, fam. Oh God, he's like, I like my stuff custom fitted. I'm like, I get you.
Not lying. Everything fitted. The shoes is pointy. That's one stylish dude. I give him that. I come to his podcast. He come to mine. I'm rocking a hoodie and the sweats. He's suited and booted.
Yes, sir. That's me. All them sweats. Now, one question though. This will make you think a little bit. I need a story, a basketball, football, baseball, whatever kind of story that pertains to you. I need your most embarrassing sports story that pertains to you.
I heard guys on your show talk about this, and I was like, I could go in many directions because I feel when you get a minute, listeners, J.O., when you get a chance, there's a show on HBO. It's a cartoon called The Life and Times of Tim. And Tim usually has like the worst luck at the worst time. And that's me. I'll play ball all day. I'll shoot. I'll be perfect from the field, right? And then sometimes when the wrong person comes around, nothing falls. So a few years ago, 2012, I joined this basketball league. It's like an urban professional league, right? Everybody come, they bring their gear, you leave, you clock out from work, you go to some high school gym, you hoop, you live your hoop dreams.
Yes, sir.
And I had my lady come through to the show, not to the show, to the game. And when I tell you she's coming through and I could not buy a bucket, I'm talking about wide open and I'm hitting the side of the backboard, the front of the rim. I'm getting cooked on. I'm talking about the worst possible experience you could have on a court by a bunch of guys who only play basketball for leisure. I don't know what happened, man. Like, I couldn't buy a bucket. I couldn't do anything right.
You know what it was. You knew what it was. You was trying to be fancy. You was out there trying to be like Boogaloo on Above the Rim with Martin Lawrence. Not Martin Lawrence. Marlon Wayans' character out here with the whole gold suit and the baby powder and doing your thing.
And you know what? I could have lived with the misses, but the Matador D on the game-winning layup, that's to this day that sits with me.
Oh,
and it was all witnessed by her, bro. Luckily, she didn't dump me.
Yeah, that's true. But you couldn't style on her at all.
Nah.
You couldn't say nothing because she'd have been like, ugh, you missed all them layups and shots. You ain't got no game.
And you know why? Because I'm all about self-deprecation. Like, I'll keep it funky. I'm going to come on this show. I could pretend it never happened, but I'm going to keep it funky. That happened. Some white boy blew by me and laid me for the win. That happened, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, it happened. It happens to the best and the worst of us. I wanted a long time ago. This was like middle school, after middle school, early high school. White guy. Cool dude, known him for years, did a 360 dunk on me.
No, he didn't.
360 me.
Ooh.
I switched to football after that. But that it happens, man. It happens. I mean, I didn't dunked on people, blocked a few shots in my day, pickpocket people. Not like a legit pickpocket, y'all. This is like a steal. But I didn't got a couple people off the rip, and it happens. If you're gonna do something crazy to a bunch of people 15 times, you gotta know what's gonna happen to you. That's just the laws of averages.
Yeah, absolutely. The law of averages is a dangerous thing, but I just didn't need that to happen in that moment with a witness, man. And I'm man, you know what? I would have took 360 if I would have dropped like 10 points and didn't give up the game winning lay. I'd have took the 360, bro. Damn.
That's true. Now, speaking of 360s, getting dumped and getting dunked on and all that, NBA Finals just wrapped up, bro. I don't even want to know. I know how you feel. Not even just about the playoffs, but I want to know your wrap up, your takeaways from the entire season of the NBA.
For me, the primary takeaway has to be I like the fact that we got to the end game that most people expected. Golden State world champs. But the fact that there was some pushback in the league this year. We saw Golden State have to fight with Houston, once again, a product of some good fortune with CP going down, although I believe they beat the Rockets with or without CP, but good fortune nonetheless.
Yes.
In the Eastern Conference, LeBron having his toughest run to the finals since the first time he left Cleveland. I like the fact that teams around the league, as I said, before we even met, bro, I told people, don't get mad about KD going to Golden State because I believe 110% that this will inspire teams to get better. Maybe not right away, but eventually teams will get better and they get competitive. And I felt like this year around the league, you noticed that too, all the fighting, all the little hold me backs.
Yeah.
Guys were more competitive. The league was more competitive. And I believe that my biggest takeaway is the fact that the league is in a good place in terms of competitiveness. Next year, I believe that if Golden State wins again, this will be their toughest run to a title because teams are coming for them. So first and foremost, I like that. Also, another takeaway for me is the fact that while LeBron is great, we're starting to see other teams in the East sprout up to make a run. I think Indiana's here to stay. I think a healthy Boston team will be a legit threat. I thought that Toronto would hire the right coach to make them more viable, but they hired this nurse guy, and I'm like, wait a minute, Toronto's out. I think Washington had a soul-searching year, and I think Washington will be better for it next year because of that soul-searching and the feuding with John Wall, so on and so forth. So I like the fact that, once again, it goes back to the league being in a good position to make things even more interesting and more competitive. Can't forget Philadelphia, who I believe Philadelphia and Boston are here to stay for the next 5 or 10 years. So the Western Conference is there as well. The unibrow kind of found himself in terms of a dynamic talent. He always had the ability, but he imposed himself on the game more than I've ever seen before. So I like where things are going. Guys are coming up. As LeBron is in the final quarter of his career, you're seeing stars prop up around the league, and they're ready to take that baton and take the NBA to that next level going forward.
I agree on about 97% of the stuff you said wholeheartedly. But I don't think that the league is in a great place.
No?
I think marketing-wise, yes. I do. And I thought that it was in a great place until the other day when now the talks is LeBron's going, and the speculations, I got to say the S word just to get under your skin a little bit. Speculations is that LeBron's going to LA. Paul George is joining them, and now Kawhi is going there. So instead of people like saying, oh, man, I want to see competitive basketball, you got the quote unquote experts and analysts on here talking about ways that they can make it happen.
True.
Like, why do you want to see that? Why do you want to see LeBron, Kawhi, and Paul George on the team? I know, I get it. You know, people kind of want to see Golden State fall off.
True.
But at the same time, it's like, okay, Golden State falls off. Now you got the Lakers. Who's going to beat the Lakers? I mean, you got, I know Boston and Philadelphia. Philadelphia, you still got that injury bug that you got to be concerned about with Embiid.
Fair.
I mean, Boston, who knows what's going to happen there? Kyrie saying, I don't want no extension right now. You know, speculation is that he's eyeing somewhere else like New York. I just really don't like it. And one of the things that we're going to talk about later is one of the issues that I have with the NBA is what I realized is this era is way more athletic, but they're top heavy. This is a very top heavy era of basketball. Like and I'm not like an old head, like, well, when Michael Jordan them played, I was this. But you can go about 25, 30 deep of really quality players. Like, it's been times where I pulled up some stats on a player and I'm like, damn, he got down. Why he ain't make an all-star team? Why he ain't do this? But it's because it was so many other great players.
I think personally, not to say it's you, but I think the coverage of the league takes away from the guys who are ranked like 20 to 35 because we're so focused on 1 to 20. The quality of basketball, the game is played a lot differently now. So there's guys who would be asked to do more than their skill set who will put up decent numbers. It's more of a focus on specialty players who are asked to do one thing so that affects their numbers. You know what I mean? So like actually a superstar to do is so much pick and roll and give the ball to this one guy for him to create everything and to have a bunch of specialty guys around him that it kind of suppresses the numbers of your teammates. You know, we boost, like as an example, James Harden or Russell Westbrook, those guys' numbers get boosted up so much and it looks good on paper, but it's because their usage rates are so high. We're in a usage era, in my opinion. A lot of guys are high usage rates and a lot of specialty players surrounding them that other guys don't get to see the ball and get in certain rhythms to where they could put up those numbers so that the league looks loaded. But I don't believe the league has a talent issue. I just believe that the league is in a different place in terms of how players and their stars are deployed.
I think it's a little bit of both because, like, for me coming up, I remember hearing about all these great legendary coaches. Like guys play for a legendary coach. You play for this guy at this high school or this coach at this college. Now it's like when guys are in high school, your coach is like 5 years older than you. True. And then after you leave that guy who really probably doesn't really know the game, he just knows somebody, you go to your AAU coach. Your AAU coach don't know shit. He can put you on the business of what to expect in college, how to get you some money, how to get you some gear, but he ain't teaching you nothing. And then you go to college, and that's a big toss up there because it's a handful of coaches, but they don't get no time to really spin and develop you. So now you come into the NBA and all you have is really one specialty, maybe two specialties, because you really don't know how to play basketball.
Right. And you know what? I agree with that. I was saying that on Above the Rim, whereas people are complaining about the quality of basketball, and I'm looking at the coaches, and I felt as though it comes back, like Just was saying it as well, in terms of like they don't trust players, but it goes back to the AAU of it all. Like the way they did coaching of these players to play a certain type of way, the high usage game, and let your best player be great every possession. Sometimes that's to the detriment of the lower caliber players. Because if you're asking this guy to do everything all the time, then that means that if Jarv is just asked to stand in a corner and shoot threes, maybe I can dribble. Maybe I can penetrate and create for my teammates as well. But if you're only asking me to do one thing, then how am I showing you the game? How am I expanding the game and making it easy for my superstar player and the rest of my teammates?
That is a perfect example, and it's a perfect way to segue into a question that I asked you and I asked just last week or this week that just passed. Now, you talk about like just standing there waiting at the three-point line. Now, LeBron James speculated to leave the Cavs.
Ugh.
Now, I know we all sick of it. I'm a LeBron fan and I'm sick of it. I'm kind of annoyed with him. He kind of, pushing me away a little bit. But now let me ask you this: with the roster the way it is right now, minus LeBron James, do you think that the Cavaliers, if they keep Love, keep Hood, keep Thompson and JR and all the guys that they got right now, could be a playoff team in the East?
That's their ceiling, like a lower seeded playoff team in the East. Like they could win about 40 to 44 games and get you like a 7 seed, a 6 seed in the East. That's their ceiling. They're not a 50-win team, in my opinion, right now. But I'll say that with one caveat. This is with Tyronn Lue as the coach. If you get a proper coach in there that believes in player movement and ball movement and activity level, you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
You have enough skilled players on that roster that can win games for you. Like people always say that Kevin Love, and to a degree his stats were empty calories, but facts remains facts. I think he was 1 year about 25 and 14, something crazy like that. Like the Western Conference, no less. So I'm not saying that that's who he was as a player at the top of his ceiling, but the fact remains is that he did that.
Yes.
Saying that he gets to post more, because the thing is, and I'm here to inform listeners, he doesn't get to post nearly as much. He doesn't get as much post looks and high percentage looks to get his buckets. LeBron James needs the lane clear. That's his game. And so if the lane is clear, we can't have a guy posting. So if you're saying LeBron is gone and K-Love gets to post more, hell yeah, he's going to get those numbers. Jordan Clarkson was much better in a motion offense in Los Angeles. Rodney Hood was averaging 17 a game in the Western Conference in a motion offense. So if you're saying it's a motion offense where guys get to move around, get high percentage looks, get open threes, they'll win games.
I agree 100%. And I think that they can. And you also got the motivation factor. These guys read the papers or read the internet blogs and they listen to ESPN and NBA TV. They know, like, everybody counting them out saying if LeBron leaves, they're done. They're in a lottery. I'm a competitive person. So if you tell me, like, hey, we on a team and, hey, Jarv went pro and we're a college team, all right, let's go. We got to show that we ain't need Jarv. We got to go do our thing. Let's go. Let's go prove everybody wrong. So I think that the Cavaliers, without LeBron, with this roster, and you add, like, let's say they get, I don't know, Michael Porter in a draft or somebody like that, I think they can be a 6, 7, 8 seed in the East. And I think that they could possibly, depending on who the matchup is, could take them to 6 games in the playoffs.
And I agree. This is not, like, you know what it is? It's you listen to the gray area. I have an issue with narratives and message control. I believe that a lot of times fans, they go to these media sources like ESPN, like Fox News, because they trust them to give them information. And if where they go there that they trust is telling them that it's LeBron all the time, it's LeBron. You can't fault them for believing that because they don't play the game, they don't study the game. They go to these sources to get information. And if the info was LeBron, they're not going to think that these guys are good. But if guys like us who watch the game and study the game, we realize that LeBron had talent on Cleveland. Was it Kyrie Irving level talent or prime D Wade and prime Bosh talent? No, but these guys can play. So of course they'd win games.
Right. He handicaps them. And that's the biggest problem.
I don't mean to cut you off, but
no, you're good.
The thing is, how many of those guys that they acquired at the trading deadline were allowed to play their game to the highest of their potential next to LeBron James?
Prime example to look and see if they can really play was those first 2 games when they got Rodney Hood and they got Clarkson and Nance, when they played the Celtics and they played OKC.
Right.
They had no idea what the playbook was. Everything was like ISO. They murdered the Celtics, murdered OKC. Just go back and watch. And then when they got comfortable with the playbook and they seen what it was like, shit, what do we get into? Like, why we got to go through this? Like, what's up? Why we got to get the ball to LeBron and stand at the 3-point line? And it's annoying.
Like, how does Tyronn Lue constantly get let off the hook here? It's his fault, really, out of anybody else's.
On Twitter, I've been saying it the whole playoffs. I've been saying it most of the season. As a coach, Tyronn Lue is ass.
Yeah.
He's ass to the 5th degree. If I was him, if LeBron leaves, I'm going too. Because now you really about to get exposed that you really can't coach. Your rotations are horrible. Things that you do, like I would never forget it, man. It's crazy. In game 1 with that whole J.R. Smith situation, I said it, like, if you watch this man, if you watch Ty Lue, he's sitting on the bench. And I said he was out-coached by Kendrick Perkins. But if you watch the man like Steve Kerr, like, hey, ref, listen, if we get this rebound, we call it timeout. Tyronn Lue all the way down on the other end of the court, sitting down, chilling. Like, you need to be right there, too. Like, hey, ref, if we get this, we call it timeout. Because you clearly can see before the free throws was even shot that J.R. Smith had no idea what was going on. So that prime example of that reason right there, why you needed to be down there saying, hey, if we get a rebound, we call it timeout.
I agree. Tyronn Lue, and you know what it is? He's a brother. He's a coach. He's coaching the greatest player in the world. But facts are facts. He's a man without a plan, and I hate to do that to him. What more is there to be said? It is what it is.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, he gets so much respect and credibility, but, like, if you go back and you think Tyronn Lue, what is his most memorable thing that he's ever done? Gets stepped over by Iverson. Yeah. So it's like this dude been a doormat or pushover or walkover for years, decades. He's ass.
Yo, when you think about it, he got a championship by chance. He had Kyrie Irving at the peak of his ability at that time. LeBron, Apex LeBron, as I called him at that time. He lucked up. He was in the right place at the right time.
Yes, I agree. Now, what you talking about that, and we on Tyronn Lue and we on LeBron, you said something. I believe it was on your show about the checkout watch for LeBron. At first, I was like, this guy's crazy. Get him out of here. But once you said it, it stuck with me. I just kept watching body language. I just kept watching the small things that other people don't see. I'm going to give you the floor to go ahead and explain it, and also let the people know, do you really feel that he checked out on the Cavs early?
Checkout watch with LeBron dates back to the 2010 playoffs, right before he left Cleveland the first time. At that time, I wasn't really like supremely scrutinizing LeBron James. Kobe Bryant, who was my favorite player, still in his prime, still competing for championships. But I noticed a level of disengagement. I'm not even sure if that's a word, but we're going to use that here. A level of disengagement from LeBron James in that Boston series. What I look for with athletes, I know skill, but what I look for is fire. I look for vigor. I look for tenacity. And I didn't see any of that from LeBron in that Game 6 against Boston. It almost seems like he lost his soul when Rondo faked him out in Game 4 of that series. Rondo went for the lay, faked him, and threw the behind-the-back pass to, I believe it was Big Baby or somebody who was trailing on that play.
Yeah.
His soul left his body in that play. Game 5, I believe it was, they got smoked in Game 5 in Cleveland, and then they got closed in Game 6. Most observers will say to you, LeBron James had a triple-double. What do you mean he checked out? But it was the fire that he played with. When LeBron wants to impose himself on the game, he imposes himself on the game. Fast forward to 2018, Game 1 of the Finals. LeBron had every intention of catching Golden State sleeping and taking Game 1. How often do we see LeBron go out of his way to get 40 and 50 points in a playoff game? It's rare. He's not a scorer by nature. But he went hard because he knew they would switch. He knew Steph Curry would be on them. He knew he could take that advantage each and every time. He did that up until he got ISO'd at the top of the key and went to throw a pass to George Hill, who wasn't even necessarily cutting more so that he was getting out of the way for LeBron James' ISO and got a pass he never expected to come. Thankfully for him, Clay fouled him. He bricked the free throws. He was scared. It is what it is. But after JR's blunder in overtime, no one noticed this. No one spoke about it. He didn't play hard in overtime at all. We didn't know why he didn't play hard until we saw that video footage of him imploding on the sideline with Tyronn Lue, JR, and company. He lost it in that moment.
Yep.
He didn't play hard in Game 1. He didn't play hard for most of Game 2. He went kind of hard in Game 3. And as you saw in Game 4, he took 13 shots. He spent most of that game coming across the half-court line and passing to somebody and getting the hell out of the way. He checked out. He didn't want any part of that game after J.R. Smith's blunder. He wanted nothing to do with it. He left them. It is what it is.
I agree he checked out. That 50-point game with that whole JR situation was the icing on the cake. Yeah, it was definitely. It took all the life out of him. He was gasping for air. But what I found out, well, I'm not going to say what I found out, but what I heard through some, the little birdies in the trees and stuff, that after the Boston series, he went to hang out with D. Wade and Udonis Haslem in Miami. Now, my timeline, let me see. You finished that 7-game series with Boston on a Sunday night. The NBA Finals started on a Thursday.
Right.
In California, in Golden State. So you got your media obligations that you probably have to do like Tuesday or Wednesday. So you had to get to Golden State Tuesday or Wednesday. So you just finished a 7-game series with the Boston Celtics. Your team is going to the finals, but you're flying to Miami.
That's weird.
To hang out with D Wade and Udonis Haslem. Now let's hit the rewind button. I'm a football guy. Odell Beckham and the Giants wide receivers.
My Giants, I love them.
They went to Miami and hung out with Jarvis Landry and Trey Songz. They all on the boat. They got killed for it. The media killed OBJ and the Giants. They didn't even kill the Giants receivers. They just killed OBJ. Why do we hear nothing about this with LeBron?
You really want to know why?
I know why, but go ahead and tell everybody why.
Because he's Teflon Braun, baby. He's untouchable.
That's crazy. Like, you checked out on your team when you decided to go to Miami, when everybody else is like probably sitting around, let's get this going. Let's talk about, the game plan. Let's go watch some film. Let's do this. Everybody else is going back to Cleveland. You're going to Miami, and I don't know if he rolled with them to California or not, but that was like the ultimate checkout move. But I texted you a couple times during the finals. I was like, yeah, that checkout joint is real. He definitely quit on them.
And you know what it is? It makes me wonder if when he was with UD and D Wade, if he told these guys, you know what, I'm gonna give these fools one game, and if we can't get this one game, I'm out. For all intents and purposes, when it comes to the optics, it sure looks like he gave the one game and he was out.
That's true. That's definitely true. Now, it's a question I got for you now, since we talking about that and him talking to D Wade and Udonis Haslem. Is the NBA too buddy?
Hell yeah. You know what it is? Put it this way. I'm gonna spin it forward. I'm gonna say it's too buddy because we know it's so inclusive now, the NBA and most sports, because of social media. We know what's going on behind the scenes. To me, pro sports is no different from professional wrestling. When we knew pro wrestling, when we knew it wasn't fake, we loved it a lot more. Once we got behind the curtain, we kind of lost our vigor for it. And it's the same thing now with these relationships. Once they let us behind the scenes and showed us the ins and outs of how many guys are actually cool with the next guy, it changed how we looked at the game. Charles Barkley and Jordan been friends, but we didn't know that until after they played. There was no Instagram or Twitter or Facebook to point out the friendships and the relationships on and off the court. It's almost like now these young guys coming into the league, seeing the Banana Boat crew and what they did, they all want to do it. You see guys like D'Angelo Russell befriending players on the Phoenix Suns, like Booker, so to speak, and Karl Anthony Towns. These guys are buddies now because they want to follow the leadership of the OG Banana Boat crew. Then you have a guy like Embiid who doesn't care, and he's a pariah because he trolls opponents. But then again, when we were growing up, that's what you were supposed to do. You were supposed to talk trash. You were supposed to throw shade through your opponent. You were supposed to shake hands after the game and not before the game. But because of social media and the fact that all these guys are aware that cameras are around them, they have to play to the cameras 24/7 to show that they're good guys because they don't want their perception of their Q rates to take a hit. So we're good guys. I love him. It's only 48 minutes, but I love him off the court because I don't want you to hate me for all the other minutes that we're not on the court. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of Hollywood vibes in the NBA. So it's buddy because they have to play for the camera. I'm pretty sure a lot of guys don't like each other, but because they know the cameras are there, because of our cell phone cameras, they know that they have to act right or they'll get killed in the media and their perception will be destroyed. Exactly.
Bradley Beal and John Wall, prime example.
Right.
Two guys that don't get along. But what irks me, I agree, the NBA is way too buddy. It's guys who I've played with that call me the B word. And I don't associate with them at all because those fighting words
That's fighting words.
For your man Teflon Braun, and Draymond calls him a B word. He gets suspended for a game. A couple weeks later, they doing an ESPN barbershop interview.
Crazy.
Drinking champagne. That's bananas. That's crazy. Like,
can you imagine seeing Bill Laimbeer and some Laker chilling out in the 80s? Could you imagine that? Bill Laimbeer and Magic Johnson.
Half the players back then still hate Isaiah Thomas.
This is what I'm talking about.
And it's 30 years later.
Imagine seeing Kevin McHale and Kurt Rambis after McHale clotheslined them at a bar somewhere or doing a little photo op with a fancy caption. Imagine that.
No, it ain't happening.
Right.
It's definitely not happening. But I that's one of the issues that I have with the NBA. I get it. You know, you guys want to be a good league and show people, like, hey, our players are united. We join together. We this and we that. Real athletes, man, competitive nature has to override at some point. Like, you have to have competitive spirit. And me and Just talk about this often. Like, I tell him, like, I'm a strong believer that iron sharpens iron. So, like, when I listen to your show, I listen to his show, I listen to like BTG show, I listen to a bunch of different podcasts. And I'm like, oh, damn, that's cool. Let me see how I can, pick his brain on this and pick it, because I want to be better at what I'm doing. But it's like, these guys, no, don't be better. Let's just be friends. Let's be buddies.
On this situation, I believe, like, Just could tell you this off record. I always tell people the game is free. Like, if you want to ask me a question about podcasting, so to speak, I'll answer it. I'll give you all the answers. But best believe I'm listening to your show, and I want to be better than your show. I'm going to try to kill your show. If you ask me to come on your show, I'm going to try to body your show because I'm competitive.
Exactly. You put me on. You was like, nah, stop following the main guys at ESPN. Follow the beat writers. That was knowledge you didn't even have to give me. But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's crazy. Like, I want to be one of the greatest to ever do it in podcasting. I got a long way to go. I'm 7 episodes in, but it's competitive nature. You can't tell me that I ain't great.
Right.
and that's what I don't like, man. That's besides the talent situation. That's my biggest issue with the NBA is just competitive spirit and competitive nature, and everybody crying for the one and done to be abolished. For what? So more bad players who can't really play come to the NBA, and then everybody talk about how bad the NBA is. Now, not only is the NBA bad, but these kids come in, they getting the money, they got no education to fall back on.
It's true. But imagine that, J.O. It's and I hate to get political, but to me, the one and done system, we kill the players for not being ready. But you never hear anybody kill the scouting department. Why did you draft this guy? Maybe you need to lose your job because you can't tell good talent from bad talent. But it's always the player's fault. And more often than not, you rarely see a one and done. That's a white guy. I hate to take it there, but I'm an observer of the game. And they'll kill these one and dones or these straight to high school players who are black, who need the money for their families, but they never talk about that. Who flame out, but they made a couple of dollars and their family's well off. But the scout team member, who's usually a little white guy, he never gets killed. He keeps his job. Let's keep it funky here. Like, stop killing the players. The league is going to be the league. But to me, coaches and scouts need to do better jobs at their craft.
No, that's true. And then if you stay 2, 3, 4 years, that's more tape they have to kill you. Back to your point about the white player that stays and he goes, he usually end up on the Charlotte Hornets because Michael Jordan loved to draft white power forwards. Mm-hmm. Mike is the worst. But no, it's legit. That's a legit question. Like, I mean, if you look at, like, I'm a North Carolina guy. I like North Carolina basketball. Joe Barry, good player in college. Justin Jackson, if he would have came out after his freshman year, it would have been good. He came out after his junior year, got drafted like 20-something, buried on the bench in Sacramento. It's like, well, for what? Like, I mean, I understand you need the money, but I'm one of the people, I'd rather have $5 million for the next 20 years than have $2 million for the next 5 years.
But you have a big picture view, so that's a whole different argument, you know?
Yeah. But that's the thing, though. That's one of the biggest issues I said about the AAU teaching these kids the business, but they're not even teaching them the right business.
Oh, indeed.
And BTG, his new episode that he just dropped on Open Run, it was like a PSA for parents. We chopped it up after that. We actually chopped it up this morning via text. And he had like this whole PSA about how parents need to chill about, like, the kids when they go to college, making them pick the place that's going to give them the most success instead of picking the place that's the right fit for them. And that's one of the biggest problems. Like, kids going to Kentucky because they know Kentucky puts a lot of one and dones in the NBA. Look at, like, for a while, Duke, back in the 90s, Duke was putting players in the league, but they were horrible.
True.
So it's like, man, at some point in some time, like, you gotta stop and think, like, man, I'd rather have my degree to fall back on. And I sound so old saying this, but, like, if you a 3-year player and you projected to go in the second round, just stay, get your degree, and then try it next year. It's only 60 slots in the NBA draft.
But you know what it is too, bro? It's the fact that you've lived life. You know, maybe at 21 you might not say this, but where you are right now in life, you've lived it, and you see the endless amount of failures that have come and gone through the league, and you understand that that big picture perspective is key to any level of success.
Man, I was seeing this at 17.
Yeah?
Like at 17, like you got coaches, like high school coaches saying, "Hey, come to my school, come do this, come do that. I'll look out for your family." Like it's been a business. Like my high school coach, love him, I ain't gonna say his name, was a good guy. He made more money off athletes than anybody because number one, your players is putting the people in the stands. Then you got the concession stands booming. You selling merchandise that say go blah blah blah. I'm not gonna say the school, but it's a dirty game, and it starts in high school. And I haven't been in high school. Been out of high school for 10 plus years now, not 20, because people are trying to get my age. But I've been out of high school for over 10 years. Same thing with college. The college got the worst rule. If I didn't know you 4 years prior to me getting to the university, if you would be like, "Hey, J.O., let's go have a burger."
Right.
All right, cool. I'm an NCAA violation because I didn't know you 4 years prior. So you buying me a burger, you may have intent on recopping that if I make it to the NFL or the NBA. It's a dirty system, bro. It's a dirty, dirty system.
I can't dispute anything you're saying. I appreciate you bringing this game to this episode because it's not all glitz and glamour. It's a lot of pitfalls and trappings to this NBA business that no one tells these kids trying to get into the game. They just seeing the optics. They seeing the fancy outfits. They seeing the lavish lifestyle. They seeing the highlight packages on YouTube and ESPN, and they think it's all butter. Then they get to the league and they like, what the hell happened?
Exactly. Now, getting back on topic, let's quote some basketball. Free agency is coming up.
Yes, sir.
We got it on July 1st.
Yes.
Other than LeBron, other than Paul George, give me a couple of guys. It don't got to be 5. It don't got to be 10. Just give me a couple guys you checking for that you really want to see where they end up.
Because I'm a Laker fan, full disclosure, and I don't want LeBron on my team. I always said if PG doesn't fall through and he doesn't want to be a Laker, he wants to go somewhere else or stay in OKC. I had my eye on JJ Redick. I think that JJ Redick, any team that's close to being over the top or close to being really competitive needs a JJ Redick on their squad. If Philly decides that they want to go big game hunt and JJ gets to walk, I think he can help at least half the teams in the league walking in the door. And I don't think enough is said about him having a real year in Philly. So I'm looking at JJ Redick as a guy who I think could be a key free agent pickup for any team, especially the top level teams in the NBA. Every playoff team needs JJ Redick. I'll say that right now.
Oh, yeah. I said it on Just Show, too, that we talk about the Pelicans. I was like, he'd be a perfect fit with the Pelicans.
Oh, yeah. Floor spacing, gives the unibrow some room to work. And if Boogie decides to come back, then he spaces the floor for both bigs to operate at a high level. Speaking of Boogie, he's another guy who's a wild card to me. Because of that Achilles injury, I believe he's going to come to any team he signs to on a discounted rate, whether it's money or years. I think Boogie can really flip a team's fortune negatively or positively this summer. And I feel as though with all this LeBron and PG and now Kawhi talk, no one is talking about that wild card that is Boogie Cousins just floating around free as hell. So anybody can have him for the right price. So Boogie Cousins could flip a team's fortune this summer. Another player that I'm going to throw your way, I really want you to be just listening to your show and seeing the kind of guy you are with basketball. I'm looking at Marcus Smart as a big-time restricted free agent. And I wanted to ask you, how do you feel about him? I think Marcus Smart is a winning player. He's a bulldog, and I think that a lot of teams could use him on his team. How do you feel about him, man?
Every team needs that spark plug. Every team needs that kind of enforcer, that wild card. He keeps everybody on their toes. As a player, I like Marcus Smart half the time. As long as he's not shooting threes, I like him. I love him as long as he's not shooting threes. I think Marcus Smart, his best bet is to stay with Boston if he's smart, and no pun intended, but because they need him. Like he is the fire for that team. If you look at that team without Marcus Smart, and I know they still got the Morris twin, but like he kind of, that identity is gone. That they got their bench, like they got the pretty boys, the real mellow dudes starting. Then you come with Scary Terry.
Dogs.
Yeah, you come with Scary Terry. You come with Smart. It's like, oh shit. Like not only did I just have to deal with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, now Kyrie, Gordon Hayward, they coming off the bench with Smart and Terry. Like, damn, I can't catch a break.
Like, I feel like Marcus Smart is Boston's Draymond. Like, that's who he reminds me of. does a little bit of everything, defends a lot of guys, always in the right spot, makes the right read, makes the right play, and he's a high-end glue guy. That's what I look at Marcus Smart as.
Oh yeah, exactly. Every team hates him, but every team wants him.
Right, absolutely. And to
And
round
then,
off, because you asked me for 5, and I feel like it's my obligation to give you 5.
okay.
2 Lakers, Julius Randle and Isaiah Thomas. There's a high probability that both of these guys might not be Lakers next season. One more so in IT than the other in Randle. But I believe that these guys can help any team in the league wherever they go. And with all the distraction, all the smoke being blown about the big name free agents, if IT is healthy as he says he is, and he goes anywhere, he's helping a team walking in the door. Defensive liabilities and all. I believe that Julius Randle found himself this past season in LA, and I think his level of tenacity, his aggressiveness, the fact that he's a bull in the china shop, as everyone constantly says, he rebounds, he can move his feet, he can help on switches. This guy can really help a team out. So I believe that both of these Laker players are going to be great pickups for whomever picks them up this summer.
Well, I mean, I like Julius Randle as a free agent. I think he improved a lot in a weird situation. Like, his rookie year, when he break his leg his rookie year, then, they come with all these other guys, and he's kind of like you're being overshadowed. But I like him. One guy that I like, or 2 guys that I really like, Tyreke Evans.
Mm-hmm.
I like Tyreke Evans for your Lakers, actually.
Ooh, check you out.
Yeah, I'm not a Lakers fan. I'm a Knicks guy. But my uncle taught me, man, everybody else was going for the Bulls back in the 90s, and I was sitting here going for the Knicks with my uncle. But I like Tyreke Evans, man. You got and one of the things that the Lakers need, they need an alpha. They got enough chill dudes, laid back guys. They need somebody that can give me the ball, let me go get you 30. I'm not saying Tyreke Evans is that guy, but Tyreke Evans, man, he's a solid player. His game is not flashy. He is injury prone, but I do like him. And another guy that I think people are overlooking, I understand why he had 2 ACL injuries, but Jabari Parker can ball.
True indeed. He just can't stay healthy. I'm concerned about him.
Yeah, that's I understand that part. But he was the number 2 pick in the draft,
True.
number 1 high school player in the country. Normally, when you tear your ACL once, you're down the line, you usually tear it again later. It normally takes about a year to 2 years to fully recover from that. Coming into this year, I'll give him a 2 or 3 year deal, like a prove-it deal, 2 or 3 years at $12 to $15 million a year.
You know what? I can't argue with that. You make a good point.
He is a really, really solid player. I think Capella is going to stay in Houston because now LeBron all of a sudden doesn't hate.
By the fact that CP3 made him a lot better. And I like killing CP3, but fair is fair. He wasn't this guy before CP3.
Now, all right, real quick, because as you said the name, just loves CP3. He loves him. You got to say the famous quote. I love your quote about CP3 getting max money.
I would say he can't have max money if you don't have max hamstring. What's the nerve of you? Your hamstring been bothering you for years. So how can you ask for max money when we can't even guarantee that you're walking on the court with 2 hamstrings? Get out of here, CP3.
When I heard you say it, I text you right away. I couldn't stop. I was laughing so hard I started crying because it caught me off guard because it was like one of those little moments where it was like you said it towards the end of a segment where most people probably wasn't gonna catch it, but I'm like, this man said he don't got max hamstring, so he can't have max money.
And that's why I like to catch people like that. I don't like to give away the punchline. I'll just sneak it in there, and just catch you off guard.
A quick little jab, quick jab.
Keep you in tune.
All right, now keeping people in tune, quick jab. Let's talk about some real deep basketball. I got a question for you.
Right.
Let me get a starting lineup of some sleepers. They can be past, present, whatever, mixture of both. Just let me get a quick starting 5.
All right, point guard, all-time sleeper. I'm going to go Terrell Brandon. He had a nice run with Cleveland. He even had a nice little video package with inside stuff, and they used to come on Channel 4 back in the day in New York City, NBC. What's up? And I like this game, little pit bull at the point guard position. So I'm going to go Terrell Brandon. 2-guard position was a little tricky for me. I liked Allen Houston a lot, and I was going to go with him, but then I was like, he got $100 million, so he's not necessarily a sleeper per se. But a name I don't hear a lot of guys talk about often is John Stockton's running mate towards the end of his career, Jeff Hornacek. Hornacek was damn near automatic from three, and he was pretty all right on defense too, if memory serves me correctly. So I'm going to go Jeff Hornacek as my shooting guard. Now, my sleeper team is height challenged in the backcourt, but they're skilled all the same. So it is what it is. Let them live. Let them live. At the small forward position, I think history has underrated him, and he was kind of the blueprint for what Draymond Green is, but a lot more athletic. Sean Marion. I'm talking Phoenix era Sean Marion when he was the Matrix. Matrix was my guy. I'm putting him up there. Power forward for me was tricky. Very, very, very tricky. But in his prime, an animal. Injuries deterred his prime, but all the same, he was a beast. Antonio McDyess. Power forward.
Yes.
And at center, he's in my personal all-time five. If you ask me to name 5 players I love at each position, this is going to shock you, but I'm going with Joakim Noah as my sleeper 5 for this team.
Joakim Noah.
He's on my personal 5, bro.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all. It was a couple of names on there. I didn't even think about Hornacek, but Hornacek did ball out even when he was in Phoenix early in his career. Hornacek has some numbers. Now, I did the same thing. Me and Just was talking the other day, and y'all gonna hear us reference Just a lot. Just is like, he's like the egg in meat. Like, he binds us together. But my point guard, Stephon Marbury.
Ooh, spicy. I like that.
A lot of people kind of just forgot that this dude ball. Like, he averaged for his NBA career, and I think his career was like, 11 or 12 years. He 20 points a game. Like, he was no bum. He did his thing. At shooting guard, Michael Finley.
Oh, I like.
Like, Michael Finley gets, like, no respect.
None.
Like, he's not even mentioned. Like, he's a 2-time All-Star, 16 points per game for his career, and he got a ring with the Spurs down the road. Now, my small forward, my team not height challenged. We might be, lack a little bit on defense, but we got some height. This dude, he has to be, like, the most underappreciated number 1 pick ever. Big dog, Glenn Robinson.
Oh, I like that pick. Okay, I see where you're going with this. I wish I had a fax button for that one.
Yeah, I don't got no fancy buttons or none of that yet.
Damn.
20 points per game, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and he also got a championship with the Spurs. Now, at power forward, he's not really a sleeper, but he was also a number 1 pick. Name don't get mentioned much. Probably one of the greatest Duke players of all time.
Okay.
Elton Brand.
I like that. I see where you're going with this. This is a good team.
Yeah, rookie of the year back when he was with the Bulls. Back in, what was that, like 99-ish, I want to say, 98, 99. 2-time All-Star. He made a NBA first team back when he was with the Clippers. Not too many Clippers players have done that. My center is one of the greatest basketball trivia questions ever. The great 1996 NBA draft. Allen Iverson was the first pick. Who was the second pick?
We talking about, was it? Nah. You said center?
Yeah, he's my center. He's my center.
Oh.
But he's to me, one of the greatest trivia questions, because people forget, like, everybody talk about how great the 96 draft was. Iverson went 1, but who went 2?
Was it Big Country? I don't remember.
No, Marcus Camby.
Marcus Camby. Oh, yes. You know why I always think of Marcus Camby, and it's totally random, but I use it for Knicks slander. I always say only the Knicks could have a guy, family get kidnapped in the middle of a very important playoff series in a home invasion situation. Carry on, my brother.
No, Marcus Camby was cold. 10 points, 10 rebounds, 2 blocks, 4-time NBA block champion, 1-time defensive player of the year. He gets lost in that 1996 draft because Marcus Camby at UMass, monster.
You know what it is? Marcus Camby was a late bloomer with that draft class. Came on towards the late 90s, early 2000s with his game.
Yeah, like when he was early with Toronto, he was kind of timid, but that whole organization was timid. Ain't no way in hell Isaiah Thomas is my coach and president. But yeah, when he got Denver, Houston, even the Knicks.
Was I?
Yeah, he blossomed. 4-time block champ. But like I said, his name don't get mentioned, and that's why it's always a great trivia question, like, who was the number 2 pick in the 1996 NBA draft? Because like Kobe, Steve Nash, Iverson. But you're like, damn, who was the number 2 pick? Camby.
I appreciate that.
Oh, definitely. All right, my brother. Now it's time for everybody to get to know you a little bit better. I got some rapid fire questions. Not too many because I mean I know not most of it, but I know some of the things from prior conversations. It's what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 questions. Number 1, Jay-Z or Nas?
Hove.
My
I am
man.
a belligerent Hove fan. Don't ask me anything about Nas. I know his album dropped. I don't care. I'm still gonna listen because I'm a hip hop head. I'm obligated. But at the same time, I still don't care. It's all about Jay-Z. That is I call Jay-Z my uncle. That's Uncle Hove.
Hey, I ain't mad at you. I'm not a my homies, my boy Chris, man. He one a hip hop head. He called me a trap music fan. So I'm a Jay-Z guy. I'll take Jay-Z over Nas as well. Now with that answer, I know the answer for number 2. Rockefeller or Dipset?
Ooh, you know what? I'm gonna say Push, and here's why. Because peak Dipset was fella, so it's like it's hard for me to pick and choose because I was all about Bird Gang. Like I love State Prop, I love Beans and Bleak and Hove, I love Killer Cam and Jimmy when he really couldn't rap, and Jewels. So I'm gonna say Push because the peak of Dipset was when he was signed to the Rock. So it's a push for me.
Okay, I can respect that. Knicks or Nets?
I am a professional Nick basher, okay? You know, I find Nick fans, not you because you know the game, but there's a large segment of Nick fans that are very annoying to me because they feel like they know everything and every move they make is going to lead to a championship, only for them to complain on the back end at the end of the season. So I got to say the Nets by default.
Okay. Now, people don't know, but some people know, but you are a Mets fan.
Yeah.
Who is the greatest Met ever, in your opinion?
Greatest Met ever. You know, it's tough because there's a lot of losing with the Mets. I know who I cheer for. I know what it is. But I'm going to say it has to be Tom Seaver because he had no warts. When you think about his whole body of work as a Met, he didn't have anything off the field, nothing too crazy, and he got a championship. And he's one of the greatest pitchers of all time. So I'm going to say Tom Seaver.
I can rock with that. What is the greatest New York movie ever made?
Damn. There's so many movies based in New York. When you say New York, let me help me out here. When you say New York, you just mean it was based
it was based in New York, like Eddie with Whoopi Goldberg.
Okay. The Godfather 1 is up there for me. Oh, New York. I gotta say this. You got me thinking here, man.
Come on, it's only one good answer that you can give.
It's too many of them. I'm a New Yorker through and through. You know what I'm saying? But if we're thinking New York, we thinking Ice-T, we thinking Nino Brown, we thinking that time right there.
Yeah, that's one of the movies you can add, but it's one that tops them.
Oh my God. I'm gonna go Die Hard with a Vengeance and just piss people off.
I don't even think I even seen that. I know Bruce Willis is in that joint, but it gotta be Paid in Full.
Paid in Full?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. It's based on the true story of a New York legend.
You're right, but Paid in Full ain't moved the needle the way Killer Season moved the needle.
Paid in Full is a classic, and it's crazy. Like I think like last year or something, earlier this year, one of the two, like they just had like a 15-year or 10-year anniversary to Paid in Full. I'm like, damn, that's crazy. Now,
I don't know.
Here you go. Last question.
New Jack City's better than Paid in Full.
That's before my time.
I don't know. New Jack City's timeless, baby.
It's before my time.
Paid in Full is a good choice, but have you seen Killer Season?
Killer Season. Yeah, I've seen it.
I think Killer Season is better than Paid in Full. Maybe I like to laugh.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's more funny than it is like a great storyline. The whole, and I don't know if I can say this on air and get without getting in trouble, but the whole Rich Porter story is crazy. Alpo Martinez.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Now here you go. True New York question for you. Well, actually, I got two New York questions for you. Back in the day, was you out here rocking AN1s?
Hell no.
What?
Hell no.
You tripping?
Hell no. Growing up, when I grew up, if you was rocking AN1s, you was getting roasted, bro. You couldn't be seen in any AN1s in Brooklyn. Hell no.
Dang, that's crazy. Because I got some homies that still be rocking some AN1s.
It was Air Max. It was Forces or Uptowns, as we called them. And, of course, it was Jordans, baby. Or you had the pennies on your feet, or the Barclays. Or the occasional Stackhouse. But AN1s, nah.
Dang, that's crazy. Because here in Indiana, like, it's people that still be out here rocking some AN1s. They got some Dadas. They got some Fubus. They out here bogus. They need some Just Fashion tips.
Listen, I walk out in N1's prime. If I had any of them kicks on my feet, I was getting roasted back inside of my house.
Dang. Now, I don't even know how to ask the last question because it's completely it's crazy. Do you fold your pizza when you eat it in Brooklyn? The Brooklyn style pizza, do you fold it?
See, now, like, that's situational. If you go to the dollar slice spot, it's not really like a potent slice of pizza. It's very thin. You might not even really need to fold it. But if you go to an authentic large slice pizzeria in New York City, you absolutely have to fold it. There's no way around it.
Man, I'm gonna have to get you a Chicago slice, and I gotta try a New York slice and see what's popping. Because I hear New York they don't even call it pizza, they call it pie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll have to get out there and check it out.
If you get the pepperoni pie, it's dripping. So you gotta fold it, let the little oil run off so you don't mess up your fly white shirt, and then you go to work.
Yeah, if I eat one of them, it sounds like I got to go to the gym for about a good 2 or 3 hours. My stomach going to be tore off. Well, my brother, I definitely appreciate you taking time out. I know you international, so you're probably about to get ready to head on the G6 or something and head out the country or something. But I appreciate you taking time out to do the show. With this time, I want to give you the time to, let everybody know how they can get in touch with you, how they can listen to your show. Just give them all your information except for, the social security number.
Yeah, I tried to make sure to leave that part out. But real quick, Ray Jarvis is the government name. Everybody calls me Jarv. It's not a nickname. For some reason or the other, once you get to know me, you end up calling me my last name. And then by the time we get super cool, you're just calling me Jarv. It just happens that way. It never fails. I'm the host of The Gray Area. That show comes on Blog Talk Radio, now Stitcher, and iTunes every other Thursday at 10 a.m. Every now and again, because we do have lives beyond the podcast game, I'll adjust the release date, or if it's something happening in the news, I'll adjust the release date to push it up. But generally, it's every other Thursday on Stitcher, Blog Talk Radio, iTunes. We just turned a year. I got the 1 year special dropping this week. It was an epic discussion, so to speak. It's entitled NBA Legacy Wars 2 because my very first inaugural episode of The Gray Area was entitled NBA Legacy Wars. So I decided that each and every year at this time, it's going to be a legacy war. We're going to get into it. It was a brilliant episode. Look out for that. I'm on Twitter. Look for me at Chet_O'Hara. If you listen to The Gray Area, I gave the whole backstory of where that name came from because to this day, they want to know how is a black dude named Chet O'Hara on Twitter. But that is my name, Chet_O'Hara. On Instagram, The Elite Podcaster. And on Facebook, just search Ray Jarvis. Look for the dude with the green bomber jacket and the fitted on. That's me.
There y'all go. Y'all got it. My brother, I appreciate you again for being my OG and also for taking time out to come on. I also want to tell everybody, all you fathers out there, happy Father's Day. Tomorrow is Father's Day. If you're a father, good salute to you if you're in your kid's life. If you're listening to this and you're not in your kid's life and you're a father, hey, you need your ass kicked. But
that's a fact.
But y'all know, find me at Oden2218 on Twitter. You can also find me at J Oden, Oden, on Instagram now. I am on Instagram. You can all that stuff gonna be in the description and the link. Make sure y'all also hit me up. Get y'all CIWW shirts. They out. They moving. I'm gonna get with you, Jarv, so I can send you one.
I'm gonna need one of those, bro. It's really good.
I'm gonna make sure I get you in one of those. I sent just one. I think he was mad because I ain't had nothing but mediums. But everybody, I know y'all probably tired of hearing my voice. Y'all probably tired of hearing Jarv's voice. Get out, check out his show. Salute to everybody who listening. Depending on what time of day you listening, good morning, good afternoon, and good night.